How you are? I hope you are good today. My speech will be about food production, starting from seeds to harvest and reaching the consumer. I'm Dr. Abusrewil, graduated from plant production department abroad in Libya. And then I got my MSc from University of California, Davis. Then I got my PhD from Washington State University at Pullman, Washington. And after that, I got a lot of teaching and research. So my area is food production. And when I'm going to talk about food production, mainly orchard. I am not really goes to, you can say even tomato is fruit. Some people they call it fruit. But for us, we call the orchard trees. And I will specify what do I mean by orchard. Horticulture. I will, it's different from botany or plant in general. Plant is basic for us. You have to be good one in botany, because botany, they are caring about other subjects. It's different from us. We are talking, that's basic science. We get use of that. It's very important to us, but we have to go for applied in the orchard or some other areas of horticulture in the greenhouse on high terrace. But for us as orchard, as fruit tree people, we have to go open in the field. Open in the field. So horticulture is one of the sciences that making together with other animal science and other department to make school of agriculture. School of agriculture. Sometimes include even fish study, aquaculture. We include it. Home economic, sometimes we include it. Sometimes home economic goes through food science, because some schools here in the state, they goes with food science. Food science in some schools, it's belong to School of Agriculture. Other schools, it's belong to School of Engineering, because it covers manufacturers of dairy products, fruit products, all the food and meat and that kind, not meat production. Meat production, that's for animals. But for synthesize, to preserve meat, whatever the kind of meat, fish or chicken or bird, any it's different. So but School of Agriculture has 11, 12 sometimes departments. And it's different from one school to another. You have to look to the schools, what they are included and in what, under what department. Because some schools, they have vegetable going with agronomy. The agronomy is cereal production, is different. But in some schools like Davis, California, it goes with it. And viticulture goes with horticulture. That's it. So it's one of the sciences I consider basic courses needed for this. So the freshman year, you have to take the basic, physics, math, English language, other courses, which is really basic, and more stress on plant. Plant taxonomy, plant anatomy, and that. So for fruit trees, we are talking about, we have two different types of fruit trees. We have deciduous, which is lose their leaves in the fall and winter, and we have evergreen. So here in Missouri, I'm concerned with deciduous, the one which loses its leaves, and it has to go through cold harvest process before the freezing time comes. So they lose their leaves. If they don't lose their leaves, they would be frozen on them. And you cannot, it's not easy to take them off if you have big orchard or big nursery. So for nursery, we have to get rid of the leaves ourselves. If the plant it doesn't has a sensor. It has a sensor for what the plant has sensor for temperature and day length. These two important, very, very critical to the plant. If he doesn't know about day length and heat, whether how it is going, it's bad for plants. So it has this process. For example, when I ask you to plant some crops like onion, I have to decide when I plant those crops. Away from temperature, but just for day length. Because if you plant the seedlings and the day length become longer, too long, they will not form bulbs. They will form flowers. And I like onion to have bulbs, not just fluorescence. No. So you have to have about day length. But this one, we don't care about it in fruits, because fruits are perennial. They live years. Some fruit trees, they live, now it's proven in the books, over 500 years. Some olive, over 500 years. So they are perennial. But olive, not included here, because I'm going to talk about it later on, but because it's evergreen. Olive, palm date, banana, that kind of crops which live in temperate zone area or warm area, they are evergreen. They don't, maybe they're understanding about losing the leaves. It loses its leaves, but it's loses gradually. And the one fall off has to be replaced by another one. So you cannot see the tree is out of leaves, except if that tree is exposed to bad condition, like, for example, high water table. Water comes from down to the roots. You don't see it, but maybe the roots are in full water, free water there. So no oxygen. So the tree starts losing its leaves and start dying. Sometimes it will collapse 5 days, 7 days. You see all the leaves are on. That's for evergreen. I mean for olive. For palm date, the story is completely different. Palm date, this big tree, which is I don't recommend here in Missouri, as in California, it is well known for its palm date. Internationally, it's well known because they have excellent variety there. Palm trees, it can survive even in free water. How come it's different from olive? Because palm trees have air buckets in their roots. So it can get oxygen from that air bucket. So it can live in free water, that's for sure. Okay? So here for the deciduous, I'm talking about pome fruits, which include apples, pears, and quince. Apples, pears, we can use them as fruit and we eat them and no problem. But for quince, usually we use them as rootstock. We graft on them because some of these quinces, they are adaptable to certain soil or problems. So we plant them to be rootstocks. What I mean by rootstocks, that the one which fix or encourage the plant to stay on the soil. So that's rootstock. We are not looking for its fruits. Here we can say you can eat or make juice of quince, but really it is not that popular like apples and pears. Okay, these three crops, three fruit trees, these ones are, they are good in our climate, and I saw in in the fairs a lot of varieties, they are doing great. So we don't have problem because these kind of trees, they need high number of chilling hours. Some of them, they need 1,600 hours. What I mean by chilling hours is the hours of cold during fall and winter, and the tree is sleeping. We call it scientifically dormant. No activity in the upper soil, but the roots, they never go to dormant. Roots never. They are working, they are absorbing, they are supplying. Okay? But there is not that much movement from down to the top, because transpiration is the one who encourages that move. You know, I know some trees, it's forest trees in giant sequoia. The tree reached 110 meters or 108 meters. And it has very strong pump. We call it transpiration pump to feed the top of the trees from the ground to push the water to the top of the trees. So for this one, I never get worried about these trees in freezing or frost or anything. So chilling hours is the temperature over 32 Fahrenheit, which is, we call it 0 Celsius degree, up to 45 Fahrenheit. This is a chilling temperature, which is good for the plant to start growing next spring. If during night or during days, the temperature go below 32, which is mean 30, 25, you know, like here, that will destroy the effect of temperature over 32. So you need more hours, because for example, this tree needs 1300, and you come maybe 1 week, calculate them. How many hours the temperature is below 32? That will destroy the effect of that number of hours, which is over 32 and less than 45. I make it clear, less than 45. The best temperature is around 37. You can say 37 till 39, but the best temperature really is about 37. And in degrees Celsius, we consider it 0 degrees Celsius and 7.2 Celsius. Because, you know, you have to convert from one temperature to another. So for these trees, I don't worry, okay? We have stone fruits. They are not that cold resistant, but they are resistant, but not as high as apple and pear. So if you have very cold area, I will advise you to plant pears. Very cold area. But you have to be careful about the date of when you're going to harvest that fruit, because pears usually takes time. Some of them, some varieties took, you know, due to other factors, it took 7 years, 8 years to carry crop. Usually the other trees, maybe 3-4 years. You can say 2, but if you graft it, sometime if you graft one tree or another, you might have the crop the first year. How come you have the crop the first year? Because you are bringing the crops from the other mature tree. Doesn't have to do with what you graft at all. When we take the bud, and we take the soil which is a piece of wood containing 2 or 3 buds, and we graft it in other tree. Sometimes you get a crop, you get fruit the same year, because you know the fruit buds, when they formed, so they formed from last June. So the crop you have this year is formed last June till last September. You see, and you come and you graft, it's already there. Okay, so stone fruits. This is different. Stone fruits, which is apricot, plums, peaches, cherry, almond, pistachio, and other nuts. I'm not going to specific because there are many nuts. There is hazelnut and others. So there are these groups. We call them stone fruits, except these nuts: almond, And these nuts, we are eating the flesh. Apricot, cherry, peaches, plums, we eat the flesh. We don't eat the inside ones. For these ones, the other ones, almond, pistachio, and other nuts, we are eating exactly the inside. We are not eating the flesh. We are not eating the flesh. So we have, if I have limited capability to bring honeybees, which feed has the priority? These feed. Feed of these ones. If we have priority, you have limited resources, and you're gonna hire, because I talked to honeybee people, they told me usually each acre they put one honeybee hive. And it costs you around per season around $150 to help pollinate your trees or your even vegetables. Because pumpkin and watermelon, that they need pollinating to help them. Okay, so I give the priority. If I have limited resources, I give priority to almond, pistachio, and others, because that's the part. If I don't have seeds, I cannot eat anything. It's just the skin which is dry out, and that's it. For the other one, we can. I don't have to have seeds. You know, some seeds of almond and some seeds of mainly almond, and the flesh of elderberry, they have really poisonous material. So you have to be careful about eating the bitter almond, not the almond we ate, not the almond we eat the fruit of. The other almond we used to use it for making fresh juice. It has a material very poisonous or toxic. But fortunately, we don't eat that much because it has a material, and elderberry has the same thing. It has cyanide. Almond rootstock of this one has cyanide. This one we have wild one, and we have the other one which is we planted. So we are thinking about, or we are really happy to find something white, like, you know, Finca Farm, the tornado Finca Farm here. She has wild plums. That's good ones. Wild good ones, because that's good indicator that the plum can survive here. So I can use it even for rootstocks. If I don't, because it has very small, tiny fruits, I can graft on it big plums. We have two different kinds of plums. We have plums, normal one, or we call it Brunia, Arabian plums, and there is Brunia. Brunia, that one which is elongated, oval shaped, that is different. It's that we don't eat it fresh. Some people, they don't know that. We don't usually eat it fresh because the tissue is stiff and the sugar and acidity is not that good indicator for its maturity. So we use it for dryness because they make a lot of juice and mix of the dry peaches, they dry pears, they dry apricot, and they dry plums to bring another, you know, cakes. They add them to juice, and they are natural, but they dry them to get them at the right time, because you cannot keep these fresh fruits for a long time. Okay, it's certain time, maybe weeks, and they will disappear. I have another crop which is grapes. This is really good one, but I know we have European grapes, which is Vitis vinifera, and we have American grapes. American grapes is Vitis labrusta. Vitis labrusta, we use it in the Mediterranean area as rootstock, because we have different rootstock for what we want to need that for. We have some for sandy soil, some to make tree bigger, some to resist cold. Like, for example, Russia. Russia, they got a lot of grapes, but they have to have rootstock resist cold because it's really cold there. Okay, so they import their grapes. Once I was there, and they make an agreement to import 150 million nursery stops. 150 million. Every year they have to plant 30 million vines. For example, for us, when I said today, when I talk about fruit area, I say orchard. But for grapes, I say vineyard. I don't have, it's not the right way to say orchard. It's vineyard, came from vine. So we have grapes, vineyard, and other fruit crop, which is vine, is kiwi. Kiwi is vine. I will make a difference between these vines and fruit trees. Fruit trees, if you have plums, apricots, peaches, any of this, almond, you have very good trunk. And the branching starts from certain distance of the soil. We usually leave up to 75, or less than 3 feet, 2.5 feet or so, and we start branching. So the tree will be low to be easy to handle. Otherwise, if you see, we have tree here. It's persimmon in front of the door here. They are, they were not pruned, they were not trained. So how are you going to pick that fruit from there? I saw one of my colleagues. He went to, try to pick, and he ended up in the bed for months. So you have to train your trees the way you can handle them and the facilities you have. Even if you're going to harvest them by machine, because for grapes, we can't harvest by machine, not for human consumption, for manufacturing, for wine, for juice. We can very easy. The machine is running over the wires of the grapes, because the grapes will have to put it on the wires and start like this. So they harvest the fruits and put it there, and they have they have bed, and the bed there is a fan, so to get rid of green leaves. Then they go to there, wash it and clean it and use it for juice. So this is for mechanical. But how are you going to pick up tree which is 5 meters, 15 feet or more? It's not easy, not easy. So for grapes, and we have these 3 crops for agriculture: grapes, figs, pomegranate, and persimmon. These are kiwi. These are deciduous fruits. But I said grapes and kiwi are vines. They are not. I cannot say tree. Some people who talk about radish or onion, or say you have to say plant, not say tree or something. It's wrong word for it. Tree is different. Tree have to have trunk. Even the shrubs, blueberry and elderberry, we cannot say. We say shrubs because they are not that small like potato or like onion. They are shrubs. Like the one we have in the garden, they are shrubs. Okay, so it's different. But I want to make a point here that this one, and this one, persimmon and figs, these are 2 main and good crops, and they show we can grow them even here in Missouri. But I want to make clear point that these 2 crops, figs and persimmon, they are different plants. They have male and female. I didn't talk about this before, except this one, these 2, persimmon and figs and pistachio. You have to have male and female tree. So for figs, It doesn't pollinate by wind, doesn't pollinate by fly, has to be pollinated by certain specific, very, very specific. It's just for fit. And for the first year, after your male flower itself, you have to pollinate it. You go to the market, you can see it, they sell it by pieces, by each fruit, or by four, and hang it in the tree of male tree, not female. Because this effect, it has to go to male tree first. And there is eggs in the side of the fruit. You know, the fruits of figs and grapes and other fruits, they are not true fruits. They are not true fruit. True fruit, when this mean is true fruit is fruit that come from ovary, just ovary, no other attached. So grapes, no. Pomegranate, no. You know, figs, no. The true fruit applied just for apricot, you know, olive, plums, that kind. That's true fruit. And you cannot say it even for apple and pears. If you look to true fruits of apple and pear, you will see the parts of flowers still in the tip of the flower fruit itself. If you have, I come back to, for example, here, not peaches. For apricot, the picture you saw, the tip of it, you see parts of the flower parts there. So it's not true fruits. True fruits is peaches, plums, apricot. So here for this one, figs, persimmon, and pistachio. You have to make a plan to plant your tree, male and female. Male and female. For this one, for figs, it's easy. It's not that big a problem because you can buy it from the market. It's there. They bring it with sacks full of male flowers. And I want to finish this statement. Male flowers, I have to pollinate. Bring good ones. How you say good ones? You can see the activity of that insect which pollinate. You see it in the bag, out of the bag, big. It's black color. So it will come to male flowers during flowering of males and get inside. Inside is dark, but there is a small opening to get inside. It's simply for hair. Lay eggs, get, change to larva, hatch the legs, the larva, become insected. So it will start to get out. To get out in dark room inside. Cannot see. So it have to fly around the flowers because these are the skin and this is the skin and the flowers here. It start, moving around with her legs, with her wings, with her body. So it got the pollen grain attached because that pollen grain, they have kind of adhesive material. It will connect to the body. Then it go and visit female flower. Pollinate female flowers and its part finished. So that female flower, when it is fertilized, pollination and fertilization. Fertilization means mixing of pollen grain with eggs. That fruit will stay, usually, except if the tree feels that it has overload. When the tree has overload, it will get rid of extra load. Even though sometimes it doesn't get rid of extra load completely, we have to interfere and do fruit thinning. Like, Red Haven beaches. At least they move 40 to 50% of flowers. Some of them, they move 70% of flowers. This making of thinning, fruit thinning, you prove or you provide condition to have very good size fruit and mature in time. And you're gonna have another coming year, you're gonna have fruits. In case you don't interfere and you don't thin, you have smaller fruits because you have heavy load for the tree, and you have late maturity with maybe mature 10 days later, maybe 15 days later. I'm just talking about this point because this is important for us, for the farmer. For the farmer, because when he has his crop to mature at the time, it's good for him. Otherwise, he might another variety, another farmer got after the time delay, he will have problem of marketing his product because there are not that much, demand in your variety because there was another variety ready in the market. So we have to thin the fruits. I was in Washington State, we removed 35 to 40% of apples. You can see all the trees, they are just covered with fruits now. While we do that, we try to list the load on the mother. So we have better quality, better size, better color. And we have fruits, good taste, and we have fruits mature on time. And we avoid getting trees to carry crops 1 year on, 1 year off. This is very clear in the vine dates, very clear in olives, very clear in the figs. We don't like that. This year I got 4 load, next year nothing. But very clear in olive. You say in the country, sometimes they say this year is not a year of oil. Why? Because our trees, we don't, try to help them to get rid of fixed. That's why. So here for figs, I said we can buy. The other solution for figs, we can graft male flower, male buds from male, mature male to the female. So the insect is moving, has a lot of insects which can cover that trees. Or we buy, or we plant a group of trees, 8 to 10 trees, and in that we try to plant in the middle 1 male. Also for pistachio. Pistachio, 1 male tree is enough for 8 trees. But it has to be a good way, good place, at least where the wind moving at that time. So the wind, that pollination time will help to move the pollen again. Because this is the male tree is away from, female. They are not like apricot. Apricot can pollinate itself, can pollinate from mixed trees, but they don't have male and female siblings. Each tree, you can get male and female and you get fruits, no problem. Okay, but for fig, very essential. This one, no insect. That one, pomegranate from that kind, no insect. But for example, for when I talk about pistachio, I have to make sure that our plants are sure that they got their pollen, even from if you have wild ones. But very easy, you graft. If you don't graft, plant one in each trees in the middle. So by pollen, air, and wind and that kind, it will move. But this one, you have to have you have to have that insect. And first time I said, bring it from the pollen and hang it or under the tree. So that male flowers, to avoid the dryness, we can put it in moist medium, the bottom of it, because the insect is still in the male flowers. We don't like it to dry out immediately. Stay 2 to 3 days. Because for this crop, for figs, we have different varieties. We have varieties that doesn't need pollination at all, because it has its own hormone, enough hormone. So we call it parthenocarp. It doesn't need. We have another varieties, it carry the first crop parthenocarp without pollination. The second crop has to have pollination. Why I said the first crop? Because the first crop, it is not time for male flower to open. So this variety has the character to carry its fruit and really good fruit. But when you eat it, you eat something soft. It's different from the one which is pollinated and have seeds. It is crunchy, under your teeth it's crunchy. You are breaking seeds. So if we want to propagate figs, one of the methods is propagated by seeds. You take the fruit itself and bury it in the soil, and it will give you tree, So because that is pollinated and fertilized. Sometimes we can interfere, but here at the state, they don't like this one. We tried to spray it with hormone. Natural hormone, they call it gibberellic acid, which is around, now there is over 60 kinds of gibberellic acid. It's natural. The plant itself make it. We spray it, and it can improve the color and cover disadvantage of the fruits, especially grapes. If you go to the market and you see grapes, they see the note seedless grapes. Seedless grapes, like Thompson seeds. And that's without seeds. Usually the fruits are small, the berries are small. But if we spray them with hormone, they will become bigger size as the fertilized one. Bigger size, normal size. But this one, bigger size, we spray it for table. We don't do it for juice or wine or raisin. Raisin, it's just dry it as it is. Raisin, dry it as it is. You take it, pick it, and before you pick it, you spray it with sulfur powder, so the color will not change, and take it to the place where you are working and where you have oven and that kind. Wash it and put some sulfur in it and put it in the trays and dry it in the oven. When it comes out of the oven, you cannot smell it because it's sulfur. That's it, like fermented egg or something. But it will disappear and you can eat it. It's natural. Nothing. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. I usually recommend the kids to have raisins every day, small amount, at least not less than 5 grams, because it's really has very nutritious value. For pomegranate is different. It's can fertilize. When I say can fertilize, you can plant one tree and you eat fruit. But for pistachio, no. Okay. For band-aid, no. See, but olive, you can plant one variety and you can get a lot of oil. We don't have any problem. But for some other variety, like pistachio, we have. But in the other way, if we have male and female, and we have, it's better than we don't have. If we have cross-pollination, it's better. But cross-pollination, when you have something cross-pollinated and you plant the seed of that tree, it will give plants, but not through time. They are not, don't expect them to be like mother. No way. You see, if you have band-aids and you like to grow band-aids, if you plant them, maybe hundreds, they will become bad ones. Naturally proven 1 in 1,000, for example, band-aids will come good ones. The others, they are just bad ones, bad varieties, bad maize, that kind. So for these, to see if somebody came to me and said, hey, I pollinized my band-aids and I found no benefit, I will ask him, bring to me sample of your pollinator, the material you pollinate with. We have very simple tests to see if he has viable pollen grain or not. Very simple test. Minutes. I will tell him, forget about this one. Because there are some maize pollen, they are not They don't live. But good ones, we can store pollen grain from this year till next year. In the freeze, not in the refrigerator. Refrigerator might be days. But in the freezer, we can put them for 1 year. And get them at female flower open and pollinated. Usually they can, for example, palm dates, they can pollinated by airplane. Anything to spray powder over the surfaces, flowers, anything. Or you can take, strands of male flower and put it in each cluster. That's it. Some trees, they need 2 or 3 times because they pollinate at, the open flowers at different times. Some of them pollinate twice. Otherwise, you will burn it. Will not work. Okay, so for these ones, I think pomegranate, no problem. Pomegranate, I don't have any problem. You can plant even 1 tree, 1 shot. You can say because the pomegranate is really is not tree. It doesn't have trunk. It doesn't have trunk. Okay, so I will go to next one, site selection. I think some of you were here with Dr. Basisa gave a talk about soil characters, and how you can see that with soil or unbroken soil. For us, we have to look for fertile soil and well drained. When I say well drained, because we don't want the water accumulate in the root area. We need oxygen. Fruit trees and plants together, they don't root in air. No, they have to touch the soil particles to grow, divide and grow. So if you have roots coming from this container here, you will not see them grow like this. No, you see them grow down. They grow like this. Maybe some of them reach 20 feet, more than 20 feet. Some of them, for grapes, we found at 30 feet. But it has to be homogenized soil to grow this way, this way, this way. We like roots to spread horizontally and go deeper. We don't like roots to grow up. If roots grow up, that will be damaged by cold or by heat. One day, very hot summer, it might destroy the roots. You can say 3 days, you can destroy the roots. So we want the roots to be down. Down is warm during winter and cold during summer. Try to bring water from a well. If you take it from the well now, maybe it's freezing outside, you can drink it normally. And in the summer, it's the opposite. So we want soil to be well drained. I mean, I don't like to plant in the soil where it's water accumulates. No. I want the soil, the water will go this. Because if you can see clay soil, the water goes around. In sandy soil, the water goes straight deep. So sometimes we, got mad at the technician or something. I say, you don't water this flax. No. If he said I water, that's he water. But the problem is with your soil. Soil, if it is sandy soil, the water goes straight down. If you come the end of the day, you tell him that you don't water, he waters. But for clay soil, the water will be in the soil. And for soil particles, the water to pass from one soil particles to another soil particles, it has to be the first soil particle saturated. It's like in films surrounding the soil particle. No drops will go down except if that soil particle is full. The extra will go down, otherwise it will stay there. So for farmers, For me, when I go to visit the farmer, I can just touch the soil. If I got my hand wet, it is okay. The water is okay. But if I got my hand dry, it means need water. Because that water, that last drops of water held by the soil, it cannot move. And to reach the plant, it cannot absorb it. So the plant starts suffering. When he starts suffering, he will take, everything goes down. The manufacture, which is, we call it photosynthesis, it goes down, then the production is low. And the plant starts starving, from water. And he said the plant cannot get water, he cannot get element too, because the elements are dissolved in water. So we have to be careful about this point. I talk about this low water table. Low water table, I saw it here in some places in Missouri, organic association meeting. Water will come and accumulate. So we don't like to plant our trees because they are perennials in the deepest point of the valley. We will try to do, if you have a soil and you have a chance and you have a choice, you can plant your plants facing south, like this. So the water will go, because you are like this, it's slow. So the water, according to gravity, goes down. But I don't plant here. No, here now, because the water will accumulate here. And if I have foggy night, that will accumulate the fog stage. And the fogs get cold temperature. And if you have tree, will suffer from it. So it's better to have this way. And the other thing about soil, we don't like water table to be high. It is not good. Because fermentation to the roots. Because I said we need oxygen there. So the water tables, if my soil has water around 20 centimeters deep, it's not good for it. Trees, we plant them at a depth 1 meter down. How are you going to grow these? Especially if you have chemicals. How are you going to wash your soil? Because there, when we have water, it has either sulfur or sodium chloride. Due to absorption, this element will go and come to the soil surface. If you follow or you watch, for example, Sudan and Egypt, there is a lot of land out of farming now. Why? Because they use a lot of fertilizers, and the fertilizers go to the water, instead of going to the roots down, it will go up to the surface, and the water evaporates, and the element will stay on the surface. So salinity, high concentration of salt, you cannot grow even strawberry or anything. There is a lot of land you cannot plant. So the one method to get rid of those salts is by flood. You have enough water from Nile or from river or from, bring it from other sources, and you flood it. When you flood it, the water will go down. But if you have high water table, no benefit. Soil is full down. So no way. Okay, so somebody, if you want to buy agricultural land or farm land, you have to know the area. Because I talked to some people who are specialists, you have to talk to the area, if they have what kind. I told you that the land which is good for strawberry is not good for peaches. Some farmers, they don't understand this. For example, one farmers, they come to the conference and say, we don't need fertilizers. He grows strawberry, and he said, we don't need fertilizer. And myself, I'm growing apple, I say I need fertilizers. Immediately. Who's right and who's wrong? Both of them, they are right. Both of them, they are right. The tree man is right, and the small plants, strawberry, pepper, tomato, is right. How come both of them they are right? Because they are the trees and the strawberry, they are living in different soil level. You know, so that strawberry living on the surface, and the roots in the surface, 20, well, not more than 30 centimeters. And I said apple trees and pistachio at that time, they have to go to down 60 centimeters, 70 centimeters, 100 centimeters. You know, some element, they accumulate on the surface. So strawberry man is right. His straw is strawberry getting enough element because it's in the surface. And when I said fruit tree man is right, because he said I have deficiency, because the roots are not growing in the area of the root. They are growing more behind under it. So we have, you know, just when somebody asks you, think about his question. Don't, just give him answer, because you have to think about it. Okay, so we have soil analysis. We recommend soil analysis. We recommend it, but it is not all. No, there is another factor. Because I am afraid the soil analysis showed that your soil needs more fertilizer, more potassium, because we have three major big elements, which is NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. This is the one you see in fertilizer bag all the time. If there are three numbers or one of them is missing, you know it. Because start from the left, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. For example, you find 10, 0, 10. Means you have 10% nitrogen, 0% phosphorus, 10% potassium. So read the sign correct, not make mistakes. Okay, so for this character, you have to think about what we need to add and what we don't need. Organic material, it has element in it, but it's really low. 2% is 4%, 6%, really low. Because we have another fertilizers called 15-15-15, another fertilizer called 20-20-20. Means these are percentage, not on the bag. It's percentage of you. If your bag have 100 pounds, 20 pounds of it is nitrogen. 20 pounds of it is phosphorus. 20 pounds of it, potassium. So these numbers are percentage. Calculate them on percentage. But we have other element like zinc, like iron. We have to add them by part per million. Very low concentration. But you don't say that the bigger one is more important. No, they are equal in their importance. Both of them are equal. Because, for example, I will tell you per acre add 50 pound nitrogen. And for the same acre, I would say add 250 milligram copper. You think that 50 gram, 50 kilo or 50 pound of nitrogen is more important than 250? No, they are the same importance. We call them essential elements. And we count them, they are 16 elements. So when you eat fruits and vegetables, you are eating element too. So don't worry about potassium, phosphorus, But sometimes if you have extra of these elements, cause problem like potassium, sodium, and chloride. But maybe sometimes we ask the student, because I got the people that teaching the graduate and the undergraduate, we ask the student which salt is more accumulated in the sea or in the ocean. You would say sodium. It's not. You say sodium chloride. It's not. But how come Potassium is not there. It's not high at all. Potassium, from where come sodium chloride to the sea and to the ocean? They come from soil crust. Due to rain, due to snow, dissolve it, and they came as a river, and they mixed with ocean. How about potassium? Usually we really did this question, for graduate students, just to see his background. Potassium is there in solid crust, but it doesn't move with water because it's fixed in the soil. So for you here, for fruit production, potassium is fixed. So if strawberry man said I have enough potassium, he's right. Fruit man, he said, no, I don't have potassium, I have to add potassium, he's right. Because the potassium stayed on the surface. It doesn't go low. It's held by soil particles, stay there. And that's why I said sodium chloride is more concentrated in the sea and very small amount, very small amount of potassium. Okay, I will talk about this one because I saw it. And I saw farmers who sold their land. If you have hard band, this is cemented material. If you follow or you look to California, there is a big valley. Nobody planted tree. It's very, for us, for you, if you don't know the area, you think, how come there is very rich soil, very large area? They are smart because they know the soil. For you don't know this fact, but they know. If you plant it, go plant with, wheat. Don't plant it with grapes. Grapes, for example, Gallo company for grapes. I know Gallo company. It's not advertising for it, but it's well known all over the world. But to visit their vineyard, you have to take the airplane, not to driving it. Airplane. Okay, so but they lift this area completely free, just for small, very shallow rooted crops, not tree or anything. And the weather is okay, all other factors, but there is a hard valley. And sometimes they have rocks very close to the surface. How the roots is going to grow there? These rocks and these hard piles, they hold water. Roots will be fermented. So this one here, not a windy area. First, for fruit trees, we have to have wind breaks. Number one. Number two, we don't plant at the top of the hill. We plant, I said, on the slope. Not on the top of the hill and not on the bottom of the hill. On the slope, like this. Because there is windy. And windy, suppose you grow the tree and will come giving flowers. That's it. Okay. Sometimes it's cold. There was one of attendants here. He told me he has peaches, red heaven. And he told me no peaches this year. Because, the chilling hours of peaches is too low. Number of hours is too low. Okay, so we have to be careful about when freeze when it is flowering. Otherwise, you lose all your flowers. Okay, then our propagation by seed first. This goes for apricot, plums, all of them by seed. But seeds have to go through process. The seeds need to be washed. The seed need to be treated by cold period, which is 7 hours. The seed need to be boiled in water because there are inhibitors in them. So not just seed. So some seeds we have to do them with scarification, either by filler or by stones or by large sand particles to make scars in the skin so the water can get in. Okay, so seeds is, I told you that seeds, since it's coming from cross-pollination, it is not a true fact. Don't plant red heaven and you think you're gonna harvest red heaven. No. Because the pollination comes from mother and mother, father and mother, produce the seed. Seeds, it's mixed. So the character of this variety or this plant is different from his mother. So seeds need a treatment. So as a treatment, if we need treatment, for example, for cornmeal, it has to be moist. And we avoid seeds coming from factory, juice factory. We avoid those seeds. Why? Because those seeds most of the time are
20 more below.
yeah. Most seeds are of the factory, okay, not viable. So we don't plant those seeds from the factory. If you have winery, if you have juice factory of that kind, try to avoid their seeds. They can take their seeds and they use them for producing oil or something. Because they're, for example, yes. I will go to vegetable because this is one part very important. But we can use this one to produce rootstocks. Rootstocks, okay, for seed. The advantage of seed, it has good root system, better than vegetative. Okay, but the disadvantage of seed is that plants need time. They pass by juvenility for a long time. Sometimes it takes years. Different from the other one, because at the beginning of the class seminar today, I told you if you graft some buds from mature tree, you can get crops the same year. But from seed, impossible, no way. Okay, then I will go to vegetative, which produce the same trees. We have offshoot, like band-aids, like maybe banana, you know, that others. So we can produce them. They are growing, attached to their mother, split them from mother. Sometimes we treat them with hormone, and we plant them, and they are identical. This one is identical to their mother. Exactly the same variety. For example, we have apples, which is delicious and not delicious. These two varieties, they are not coming through genetic, they are not coming through breeding, they are coming from mutation. Just on the tree, those fruits come different. We took buds from those trees and propagate them, and by that way, we got the delicious and delicious. Cutting as grapes, figs, grape, you know, most of them, also elderberry. All of them you can do by cuttings. And cuttings, there are softwood cutting and hardwood cutting. Cutting have leaves, like we have it, for example, for grapes or avocado, you know, or olive, but we have to grow them with a moist area, plastic and protection. And we have hardwood cutting during dormancy, we cut them and plant them. But when you have to plant them right. Top is different. Top, usually the top we do it like this, with slide like this, and the bottom of the cut we cut it like this. So don't mistake. If you make mistake, they will not grow. If you make mistake putting the cutting to the outside, they will not. Okay, because that's one way of a division. Budding, I take buds. I take buds. For me, for example, I take buds, mature buds. And when I graft it on the mother, it has to be the mother grown. And the bud rest and break, dormancy. So otherwise, it will die. Because when you bud it, has to connect the cambium, flowing, tissue. So the water will go up. But if it is good, that bud grow before this connection finish, that will dry out. Okay, grafting is by soil. In soil, you take a piece of shoot, usually about 1 year old, cut it to pieces. One has 2 or 3 buds and graft it on. Now there is a machine can do the grafting. Even by machine, do the graft. Layering, this one you layer it in the soil down. For example, grapes, figs, pomegranate, you know, other maybe kiwi, but you have to have that these don't have problem in the soil. If they have problem in the soil, insect, nematode or something, and it is not resistant to them, so don't do layering. Do layering in air. Like this, you come to the tree, to the branches, wound it this way, and you cover it with moist, you can say sawdust or anything. With moist or thick cover it with plastic, and leave it there not less than 3 months to 6 months. Then you cut it and find a lot of fruits out, and you go and plant. This is what we call it layer. If there is any problem with the soil, so if you are using root stock in your farm, don't touch the soil. Otherwise, all the problems come from the soil come to the tree. So don't. Okay, layer. This was cutting out and wood, softwood. This is, for example, for almond. Usually, we don't propagate, for example, apples and pears. We usually don't, and apricots, but because we propagate them by seeds usually. But sometimes they do. Suckers, this is like this one here, person. This is just no growth coming from the ground. We call it suckers. We have two terms: suckers and water sprout. Water sprout grows like this in the shoots of the top. Suckers which come from the ground. We can use these suckers, but prove that this tree is good for the area. If it has problem, don't propagate that way. Tissue culture, this is in the lab. And there is soil preparation, planting, irrigation, fertilization. I'm not going to spend a lot of time about this one, but when I say soil preparation, you have to look for, as soil people they say, because they are looking for, high carbon activity and respiration and microorganisms. It has to be in the soil. Otherwise, if you keep just adding element, you reach toxic level and you are not going to get benefit. So now they are talking, it's a big title, soil health, like the Portuguese talk about it. So we do this planting, how to plant. You have to have wood plan, engineering plan, to see the distance between the trees and the rows. Because sometimes we fix the machine, tractor machine, and we ask him just to go straight. If the trees, for example, from here, come in front of the tractor, what are you going to do? So all the tracks, they have to be engineered. All directions. You see, for example, if you're gonna, for good square one, if you look at the tree, you can see this one, and you will not see the others. If you look this way, the same thing. All the direction, if you look this way, the same thing. You see this thing, because they are exactly in their position. Because, there is in the tractor, there is a roll in the back. That roll has a spring. It touches the tree, it touches the trunk, the flower will move. You don't like that to have problem with that. You want all these things just the same. And the other thing, for farmers, for orchard people, I don't like them to mix things. If you have delicious, if you have midhaven, because the requirement of this midhaven, for example, for grapes, they mature at different times. They need different brewing. How are you going to show it to the technician how to brew? But since they are completely good lives, I say this field is yours, and you have to leave certain parts and you do so and so. I can show it to him for 3 minutes, half an hour, and he will go and do it. At harvesting, when I say this variety material, how about that one? I have to go, and the neighbor will jump that one, and we go there. And that's wasting time. For us, for economic, for good profit, we have to have good outcome of the farmer or outcome of the labor, not wasting time. Okay, that's irrigation. When I talk about it, I think we will do we might do another workshop. Fertilization, I talked about simply about those elements. Okay. So pruning, this pruning is during dormancy, and there is pruning to correct during growth. But the main pruning is through dormancy. Trees are sleeping. And if we can respond the pruning till the frost finished, it will be better. Because I'm afraid if we do pruning before the frost, And the growth will start after pruning because we remove the apical dominance. The tree will face problem with frost. Okay, so for pruning, we have to do during dormancy. This is the surgery. During the growth, this is because we have some trees, they don't have dormancy. Oranges, olives, they don't have. Mango, they don't have. So we have to do it during growth. Other one, deciduous, this one, dormancy, we do it, you see this more than the stools. There's a lot of stools scissoring in that kind. During dormancy, we do it that way, but sometimes we have problems during growth. For example, wind come and break, or heavy load come on the tree and break the branches. It is not nice, it is not good for the tree to leave it. Just take it off. Especially, for example, this one, like this. We don't train trees like this. These are two weak points. So if heavy load come like this, harder like this, so I have to cut it. So we put piece of wood, piece of element, stone between the branches to have wide angle. So it will not have break. Okay? This is kind of tree. Thinning out, you can see maybe it is not that clear the picture. Thinning out, you take the branches of the tree to open the tree for the sun. We don't like shading. And when you cut this one, always you go back to the outer bud which is going out. We don't like trees to go inside. We want the tree open. Sun receive it. You see the fruits, even the fruits, if they are exposed to sun, you see shiny color. If you look for apricot or peaches during this coming year, you see the fruits on the outside, they are colored, will color. The inside, no, because they are a shade. So to decide the maturity, you have to take sample from the outside and inside and take the average. Because otherwise, for example, for grapes, you take your grapes to the factory and they refuse to resell. Because your grapes is not mature. Your peaches is not mature. We have different indicator of maturity. And maybe we have another workshop for maturity. Okay, pollination, I think I talk about it. Fertilization, and I talk about honeybees, and there's a lot of bees which they call it bumblebee. Yes, they can use it. Some farmers I saw they use bumblebee. So this needs even from one tree. So they hire hives to just to resist, pollination. We control by mechanical, by overcrop, by herbicide, but we don't care about weeds. If it doesn't compete for minerals, it doesn't compete for water, it is not source of disease, it doesn't cause shading, we don't care about it. Just we blow it in. But mostly it has one of these characters. Sometimes it should be a harbor for insects or disease. Compete for plants, or sometimes shade the plants. Plant doesn't receive enough light. Okay. This will flow to maturity. This is they call it bitometer. This one has here tip of this like this, tip around it. It's 7.9 millimeter, and this one we measure. Usually we measure it for maturity of apples and pears. But in apples, the skin of apples have elastic skin, so we have to take a piece of the skin to put this plunger in. This one, it will show you here how many pressure you have. It measures the firmness of your fruit. If you see your fruits, apples and pears, sometimes apples or peaches, you find it very tough, especially after harvest. But by the time apples and pears, they are climactic fruit. You can store them for 6 months. You have also grapes. You can store it for 6 months. But different from this one. Apples and pears, they are climactic. And banana. So they go from maturity to ripe, to reach overripe. So the firmness of the tissue will go down. And the starch will go to sugar. So I really don't like people to put banana in a refrigerator. If your refrigerator is 13.5 to 14 Celsius degree, you can put them. because that is the storage temperature. But for grapes, around 0, 32, 31 plus, that's temperature for grapes. You can store it for 6 months. So this one measure, either measured by pound per square inch or kilogram per square centimeter. It is there. And the catalog will tell you, for example, you have to have 13 pounds per square inch, different from one crop to another. And the diameter of this one, here the end which goes to the fruit, if it is for apple, you have to use 11 millimeter diameter. If it is for apple pears, you have to use 8 millimeter diameter. And it has to go inside almost 8 millimeters. Exactly. 7.9 millimeters. To measure your pressure says, yeah, I can take this food. Can mature inside, can mature in the refrigerator. Okay, I think we made it. Well, if there is any question here or online, okay, I'm ready to answer. TSS, they measure it by machine. They call it hand refractometer. Instrument, very simple one. Very, very simple. I hope I will bring it out of there. Very simple one. You take juice, 2 or 3 drops, and put them in the lens. You read how much sugar you have. They call them total soluble sugars. It's mainly glucose, fructose, sucrose. So if you have that number high, for example, for grapes, for wine grape, we can have up to starting from 18 grams. For table grape, start from 20. For raisins, we go up to 25 to 27% of sugar. Because raisin has to be high sugar to get more dry material, less water. Okay, and for table, we have to have more water because we need grapes to be juicy. For example, you see for apples, we can measure that it will be around. But there is a difference. If I ask you which one has more sugar in it, orange or lemon? For sure, at the beginning you will say orange. For sure you say that. But I would say that's wrong. Because they have almost the same sugar. But the acidity, it has, orange, it has maybe 0.8, 0.7, but that one lemon has 4.5%. So that's when you taste it sour. Lemon, acidity. But lemon, there is citric acid, who's responsible. In grape, there is malic acid. In American grapes, which is not drinkable, if you drink Concord grape, I will tell you that you are adding a lot of sugar. You have sugar. Because American grapes, which is Vinoxra, the main variety that was used for juice, it's Concord. Concord, it has, very bad taste. But if you add sugar, it will be delicious. You have to have balance with sugar. Yes. Yeah.
And here in Missouri, it's very hard to avoid the beaches.
No, it's,
Everybody I was trying to put peach trees.
yes.
The peach the fruit start coming out from the tree, and then you have a floration.
Yes.
Peaches, but they don't get to
Not good.
the mature.
Yeah, yes.
How do you respond to that?
That's why I said, if I grow apples and pears, I'm more confident that I will get pear. Because they need high chilling hours and they don't open early, especially pears. They don't flower, don't early. But for almond and peaches, they open early. So some of the varieties of peaches, for almond, they need 50 hours. Very easy. One night, 50 hours, you can say 1 week at night. That's it. After that hours, that tree receive, warm weather come. It's a spring. So start flower. Especially these trees are the fruit, flower buds open before leaf buds. Because their chilling requirement for flower buds is less than that for leaf buds. So the trees start flowering before leafing out. Then the flower which grows from last year, I said crop of 25, it will start here in Missouri by the end of June. Till the end of October, it will mature. So there is no much changes during dormancy, will open next spring. So if you lose this first one, you are losing for peaches and plums and rabbit. But for grapes, it has 3 growing points. In each bud has exactly 4 growing points, 3 for fruit and 1 for leaf. So if come frost, you might lose the primary, which consists around 60% of the fruit. Past that time, you lost the one. Past that freezing, the other one will open. So you still have at least 30 to 40% of the crop you're gonna get. Okay, that's so. Here I said in this talk that this year is not year of peaches because the frost came back and farmers they don't expect. Yes.
Would it make a difference if you plant peaches on a northern slope or a southern slope?
Yes, make a difference.
What is better for here for Missouri, where we get sometimes an early warm and then a later frost? Is the northern slope better or the southern slope?
Yeah, you see, we will look for the region. Okay, for example, here in Rowan County, because I saw other farmers will grow. If you want early bud pick, we do it in the slope or south slope. Because it's gonna get warm. Because all the time the north slope is cool. Okay, so your fruit will mature, maybe over mature in the south slope more than in north slope. Some people, if they have, for example, to grow seedlings on the north slope, they need to do electric warming up. They put electric wires under the soil of nursery to warm it up. Yeah, but meaningful. Okay. So you have to be careful. But I encourage people, I will try here to encourage people to grow nuts. Because I saw a lot of farmers in Oregon, they changed from another almond, which is producing a lot of California, and now they are going to hazelnut. I think it will be. And grapes. Grapes, they have really good collection of grapes in Springfield University there. Try to protect them because they have certified grapes. Free disease, free insect, free virus, and you can follow from it. Because they have one branch in Springfield, the other branch in New York. You know, the University of Columbia, New York, it's well-known school. And California too. Okay, so if you interested in grapes, for me, I look for encourage people to grow table grapes. Okay, and even maybe raisin too, because the weather is hot in the summer, so they can dry their raisins. Because if you cut the clusters, you leave them in the wires, they will dry in the wires. Come and pick up the clusters. That's the new thing about they don't get them pay for it. Thank you.